What's up? What's up? Excuse me. What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? We are here for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Damn it, not Atlanta. The Real Housewives of Miami. Where's my background? Where's my picture? I still have my balloons up because it's still my birthday month. Okay, balloons, balloons. Okay. Um, at least one more day. We got one more day of the balloons being up, honey. Y'all come on in, come on in, come on in. Hey, Monique, what's going on? Hey, Lock Queen. So we are here for the Real Housewives of Miami season 7, episode 8. So, yeah, I stayed and watched. Julia was on Watch What Happens Live. Listen, I said it's my birthday month. I ain't say it was Cancer season. Y'all Leos can have y'all little season. Y'all Leos can have y'all little season, okay? Yeah. But it is my birthday month for another day. So let me get into this episode. It really wasn't a whole lot here, you guys, but let's get into what we have. So we have the first scene, we have Julia talking to Martina about what happened. And I don't care about none of it because we already know that that Julia is lying. We know that Martina feel how she feel. Like we saw how Martina was giving Gertie the stank look in that very first episode this season when we thought this whole thing was about Gertie not getting on a Zoom call. So to be perfectly honest with you, I don't really care about none of this conversation. And then Gertie made a dig at Julia about having on sneakers. And she was like, I have on sneakers. I wore sneakers to the Queen's box. Girl, don't nobody care. The only reason why she bought the sneakers up is because she was throwing a dig. She was mad. Like, we know what it was. Child, nobody cares. So next we have Larsa meeting up with Stephanie for her new house. I don't really care about that either. Again, this is the opulence that I want for Housewives, but it's something about Stephanie that just doesn't do it for me. We're going to get to Watch What Happens Live, little baby. Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that. It just doesn't do it for me. So Stephanie and her husband, she said that this house was the house that he had with his ex-wife, and then after the divorce, it just sat empty. He wants to move back into the house, but she said only under the condition that basically she can make it so it doesn't look like the house that they lived in. And I understand that. And if you have the money to gut a house of that size and make it look totally different and add all of the things you want, had this huge closet and all of that, like I'm here for it, right? And there's a part of me that was like, okay, really, B, you can't contradict yourself because you said that this is what you love about Housewives. You love the opulence, you love the money, you love it. But it is something about Stephanie that just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but it is something about it that just, it's the way she talks. Like, it's just, I can't, is it new money? You know what? It's not even that it's no money. It's the way she talks about it. It's like she talks about it like she has to validate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, when she was like going through her closet and she was like, and this whole wall is just going to be Birkins. I didn't even get it. You know what? And she was like, it's going to have a cellar. It's going to have a spa. It's going to have this. It's going to have that. I want a makeup room. Do y'all know in that moment, do y'all know what I thought of when she was talking about her house and she was describing all the things her house was going to have? Do you know what I thought about? Tiffany Moon. Did any of y'all watch The Real Housewives of Dallas? That last season of The Real Housewives of Dallas, Tiffany Moon. Baby, when Tiffany Moon showed us her house, and she did it in such a matter-of-fact way, it didn't even feel like she was throwing it in our faces. She showed us her closet full of Birkins. Like, Tiffany Moon literally has a wall full of Birkins, right? She has a wall full of Birkins. Baby, she even has, in order to get into her closet, you have to use your fingerprint. Like, I don't even think her husband can get in her closet. There's a fingerprint thingamabob to get in her office. I mean, get in her closet. They have a wine cellar. They have a whole wine cellar underneath their house. And as you're walking down into the wine cellar, they have the wall is glass, it's clear, so you can see the whatever that stone is, because they're that far under the earth. It's like a different, y'all know the different stones. I learned it in earth science class when I was in like 8th grade, child. I don't remember. But whatever that stone is, like after you go a certain number of layers under the earth, whatever that is, like they have a glass wall as you're walking into the cellar so you can just see it, right? It's just different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know how to put a finger on it. It's just so different. But anyway, so I wanted, like, I appreciated the opulence of it. You know, y'all rich, we got it. But it's just something about her. I don't like her. I just don't like her. We found out that Kiki and Larsa had been planning this yacht party before Gertie's event, but now the group is divided, and so they have to separate the girls. Can I be honest and tell y'all something? Y'all want to hear the truth, what I think happened here? Baby, I don't think they a bit more had had one boat big enough for all of them ladies to begin with. I don't believe it. I believe that they were going to always have to split the group, but this was just a convenient way of doing it. I do not believe that they had one yacht big enough for all them ladies. You know why I don't believe it? Because on the yacht on Lars's yacht, Alexia and Marisol still had to share a room. That yacht still wasn't big enough for all of them ladies. So I think they always were going to have to get 2 different yachts. I just think this was a very convenient way of breaking it down. But anyway, so Kiki, on her yacht, Kiki has Lisa, Gertie, Adriana. Yeah, Lisa, Gertie, and Adriana. They were going to put Marisol on that boat because I think they were trying to split Marisol and Alexia up. But of course, Marisol was like, I don't want to be on there with Adriana. She's always throwing digs. She's insufferable. I don't want to be on that boat. So they put her on the boat with Alexia. And I'm like, y'all know good and damn well y'all was going to always put her on that shit with Alexia. On that boat with Alexia. So on Larsa's boat, it's Larsa, Alexia, Marisol, and Stephanie, but Stephanie didn't stay. Is that it? Stephanie didn't stay. Stephanie had a overnight getaway or weekend getaway with her husband, child. She went to Canada with her husband. So she got on the boat for a few minutes, but that was about it. And Alexia is not here for Stephanie. Now, let me tell you something. I really wish I did like Stephanie, and I'm going to tell you why. Because, baby, Stephanie be giving it to Alexia, and I am so here for it. I am so here for it. She be giving Alexia the blues, and I need somebody to do that because those women really act like they scared to say something to Alexia. I was here for, but I don't like Stephanie, so it don't hit me the same way I needed to hit me. But either way, Stephanie came on board and was already hot. She was like, she said something about barking at Alexia, and Alexia was like, well, you called me a chihuahua. She was like, girl, you act like one. She was like, I'm not a chihuahua, I'm a pit bull, you're a chihuahua, whatever, child. Then they got to arguing about, so then Stephanie was like, well, what'd she say? I don't know what she said, but she was like, well, I'm a lion. It was getting on my nerves. Like, the whole argument was just irritating me, but I only bring it up because it comes back up at the end of the episode, child. Over on the other boat, we have Adriana, Kiki, and Lisa brought a friend, Ebony, which I'm sure Rottweiler. Thank you, cheap 83 times 21. Thank you, Rottweiler. Ebony's on the they brought Ebony on the show as a friend of Lisa, which again, y'all know when they bring people on, they're testing them to see if they might be a fit for the show or whatever. And Kiki, girl, you knew what you were doing. Kiki, you knew what you were doing. Yes, Dr. Nicole definitely gave it to Alexia, and I did actually like Dr. Nicole. I so miss Dr. Nicole. Like, I don't know what they need to do to get her back. I don't know if they can get her back. Double her salary. I don't know. Make her a friend of, so she only has to film when she wants to film. She doesn't have to film. Like, I don't know what they can do, but y'all need Dr. Nicole back. Like, y'all really need her back on the show. Anyway, so I lost my train of thought now. Oh, but yeah, I'm saying Kiki knew what she was doing, child. Because Kiki gonna say, well, we were gonna put Marisol over here, but she said she didn't want to be with you, Adriana, that you were insufferable. Kiki, girl, you knew what you were doing. You knew exactly what you were doing. You knew exactly what you were doing. Adriana is a loose cannon on a good day. You knew good and damn well telling Adriana that Marisol didn't want to be on the ship with her, and then gonna add insult to injury. Yeah, she said you're just insufferable. Girl, you knew what it was. So what did Adriana do? She started drinking, and she was focused, laser focused on Marisol. Laser focused. Everything was Marisol this, Marisol that. Well, she's this and she's that. She's got her fake Birkins and she's got wrinkled knees and she's this and she's like, everything was Marisol, 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 Marisol. Kiki, girl, you knew what it was. Because the way it's set up, the ladies ended up having dinner together that night. Now, Gertie wasn't originally on the boat. She came later, but she came during dinner. Now, let me say this. There was a throwaway scene with Alexia and her boys. And the reason why I say a throwaway scene, because I don't care. I don't care about Alexia that rented this house. I don't care about, I'm sorry that Frankie had been sick, but I just don't care. I don't. So, yeah. Moving right along. So then, excuse me. So Stephanie ends up leaving. And Kiki bought water guns, which I thought was really funny. The problem was Adriana had already been yelling from one boat to the other boat, cussing Marisol out, calling Marisol names. Totally obnoxious. She's totally drunk at this point. So when something as fun as a water gun fight, that should have just been a fun time, a fun thing, Marisol was not here for it, right? Marisol was not here for it. But it was a fun time. The ladies were running around with the water guns. It was cute. Kiki looked really cute. Her little bathing suit outfit. Isaac Mizrahi said she looked like a pinup doll, and she did. It was really cute. Unhinged. Yes, she was unhinged, child. She was unhinged as hell. So when they got ready to have dinner that night, Gertie shows up, and of course, it's like the elephant in the room. You can hear a pin drop, right? So Lisa says, hey, you guys, I think we need to do something. So everybody say something nice about the other person. So she was like, Adriana and Marisol start. So, of course, Adriana immediately says something nice about Marisol. Marisol has to think and hesitate. And, of course, production has to be shady about it and make it seem like do 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 do. You know what I mean? They have to do like this whole long thing, and they have to show all this montage of all the times that Adriana says something nasty about Marisol or whatever, right? So Marisol finally says, well, I like the fact that you can play the piano. I wish I could play the piano. And let me tell you something. I understand the struggle, okay? Because as a teacher, one of the things that they teach us is when you're having a parent-teacher conference, never start off negative. Always find something positive to say first. Even if the nicest thing you could say is, your child is always so neat. I could tell that you make sure you iron his clothes, and he always comes to school neat. So parents, that's a little trick. If the teacher's first thing out of a teacher's mouth is something silly like that, that's because they can't think of nothing else nice to say about your child. And I'm just listen, don't kill the messenger. Don't kill the messenger. I'm telling you what I know. I am telling you what I know. Don't kill the messenger. Okay? If the first thing a teacher says, and when you're having a parent-teacher conference is, little Johnny is always the first person at his seat, just know That's the nicest thing they can find to say about your child. If the nicest thing the teacher is saying is little Johnny is the first person at his seat, what she really saying is, or he is really saying is, I'm so glad that your child sits his ass down eventually. You got to cut through it. I'm telling you, you got to cut through it. You got to cut through it, child. But that's what it reminded me of. If the nicest thing you could say about that woman is you play the piano, I like that you can play the piano. Girl, I said, I know that's right, Marisol. You was struggling. You was struggling to come up with that one, honey. You was struggling to come up with that one. So it gets, so of course, you know, it gets to Gertie and Julia. And again, Gertie was able to say something nice about Julia without even thinking. She said, I think you're very compassionate and da-da-da-da-da-da. The way you've opened up your home to these two boys and you're going to show them a new, give them opportunities at a really great life. Boom. Julia says, well, you throw really great parties. Bitch, that's her job. Her job is to throw really great parties. Like, I know she throws really great parties because she has the accolades and the bank account to match that she throws great parties. Then she's going to say, I just cannot be fake. I just cannot be fake. I just don't understand. I thought that we had talked and I thought that we were in a good place. And you brought that up at the party and I don't understand. Gertie was like, you're right. We had talked. And we agreed that after that, we were going to let it go. We were going to leave it there. And if we had any issues, we would talk to each other one-on-one and we wouldn't take it back to the group. If the group asked us how the conversation went, we weren't going to tell them. We were going to keep it between us. You're right. That is exactly what we said. But at the goddess party, that's not what you did. You brought it back to the group and asked. And Julius asked, instead of Julia saying, okay, I see your point. She says, well, that's what he was there for. He was there to help us. I don't remember him being there to help y'all. I thought he was there about narcissism. I thought he was there to talk. I thought it was the narcissist goddess party. At what point in time did y'all, and again, it could have been edited out because the party started when it was light. It ended when it was dark. I don't know. But at what point in time did it become a let's work out our individual issue session? And I know he opened up the floor for questions, but you didn't have to ask a question. And even if you did feel like you wanted this fake TikTok, Instagram, life coach ass mofo to help y'all solve y'all's issues, why you couldn't say, hey, do you think it's possible if you talk to me and my friend separately? Because we just recently had a situation and we said we were going to move on, but I still feel like there's some things we need to process. Like, there's a way, and again, we're going to forget this is a TV show for a minute, y'all, because production probably told Julia to do it, okay? But let's just pretend for a minute that this is just a regular situation. Girl, there was a way you could have handled that without going back on what it is that y'all literally had agreed y'all were not going to do. You literally did the opposite of what y'all agreed y'all were not going to do, which was bring it back to the group. Y'all said y'all weren't going to do that. And even if you still felt like, you know what? I know we said we were going to leave it there that day and we were going to move on, but I'm not ready yet. I'm still processing. I think I need a little more help dealing with this. There was a way to handle it without bringing it to the group. And even if, see, here's my problem with people. Even if you didn't feel like in the moment you did anything wrong, when Gertie said to you, hey, the reason why I decided that I needed to show those text messages to clear my name is because you brought it to the group and I felt like You embarrassed me by bringing it to the group, and that the group is still not believing me or hearing what I have to say, and I got desperate. Gertie admitted, you know what? Maybe that was a stream. Now, she ain't apologized, baby, and I love it. Gertie stood 2 toes down at it. I said 2 toes, Lord. Gertie stood 10 toes down at it, and she was like, oh, I'm not going to apologize for what I did. Now, I can accept the fact that maybe it was extreme, but I stand on what I did. I stand in it. It might have been a little extreme, but I stand in it. Instead of Julia saying, you know what, Gertie, I didn't see it from that perspective. In the moment, I really thought I was helping. I really thought it was going to help us. I see now why you took it the way you took it. Here's the reality of it. You can still feel how you feel, because in the moment, maybe you weren't trying to be messy. Maybe in the moment you weren't trying to renege on the agreement. Maybe you didn't see it that way. But this is why people can't resolve conflict. This is why people can't get past shit, because instead of listening to understand, you are listening to respond. Julia, you didn't hear nothing Gertie said. You were trying to be right instead of hearing Gertie and understanding why she reacted the way she did. That doesn't mean she reacted right. It doesn't even mean that you have to walk away from it saying, okay, I changed my mind now. No, you can still feel exactly how you felt. You have every right to feel the way you felt. You can still 100% feel like Gertie was wrong in what she did, and that wasn't the right time or the place to address it. But you didn't even hear what Gertie said. You didn't even hear what Gertie said. And then Alexia gonna chime in, and I love what Gertie said to Alexia. Gertie said, and how did what I did affect you? How did it affect your life? Because what I did was between me and her. Tell me how that affected you. Baby, I said, oh. Baby, when she said, so how did what I did affect you? Bitch, you could have knocked me over with a feather. Gertie said, and how did that affect you? Baby, I was here for it, Gertie. I was here. Gertie was listening. Baby, I was here for all of that. And then she gonna say, well, nobody here thinks what you did was right. Gertie was like, okay. What am I supposed to say to that? Nobody thinks what I did was right. Okay, then. What's my reaction supposed to be? Baby, I was so here for that. Baby, Gertie gave me everything I needed in this moment. I loved it. And Gertie then said, well, where was all this outrage when she assaulted me and threw that drink in my face? Where was all of this? And Marisol gonna say, well, none of us thought that was right. But that wasn't her question. Her question wasn't, did you think it was right? The question was, where was the outrage? Where was the outrage? Because there wasn't any. Nobody got up and walked away. Nobody pulled her aside and said, Julia, you're wrong. Matter of fact, Kiki pulled Gertie aside and told her she was wrong. Girl, we just need to leave. They don't want us here. The fuck? I'm at work. What you mean they don't want us here? I'm getting paid to be here. I'm not going nowhere. And I know that some people felt like Gertie should have left. I would have done exactly what Gertie did. I wish the fuck I would let these women run me up out of here. Baby, I'm getting paid to be here. This is a check. Now, if this was a real friend group and these were people that I really were trying to be friends with, yeah, I'd have been like, nah, y'all don't know. You're right. I will never be accepted by this group of women. Fuck them. Yeah. But baby, no. I'm getting paid to be here, just like everybody else in this room. And I'm going to stay here until the director says cut. And then I'll take my ass home. But what you not going to do is run me up out this room. But I don't remember seeing anybody pull Julia aside and say, girl, you did too much. As a matter of fact, I remember at the end of that scene, Julia turning on her white woman tears and leaning into Larsa and crying, talking about, I'm so embarrassed. I don't want to be here anymore. Like, Gertie did something to you. So all of this, you walking out of the event and you feeling so offended by what Gertie did, miss me with that shit. Until they can show me some hidden footage, some footage they didn't show. If we get to the reunion and they show me some footage of Marisol cussing Julia out, or Alexia or Larsa, then maybe I feel some kind of way. But see, it don't exist. Because let me tell you, if it had existed, we would have seen it by now. Huh? If it existed, we'd have seen it by now. So again, Gertie didn't say how you felt. Gertie said, where was the outrage? Because see, there wasn't any. That woman threw a drink in that woman's face and yelled, got in her face, yelled at her, and then threw a drink in her face. And there was no outrage. Nobody felt no kind of way about that. Nobody said anything. Nobody pulled Julia aside. Nobody yelled at Julia. Nobody told Julia she was wrong. I mean, they did, but they didn't. Y'all know what I'm saying. Lil Baby said there was no outrage. There was no one trying to calm Julia out. No one called Gertie and apologized for the treatment she experienced at the party, but folks acted disgusted at Gertie's party. And that's the other thing too. We didn't see nobody call her. We saw that bullshit text message that Julia sent after she had to get her new friends Alexia and Marisol to approve the message. You saw her sitting there getting their approval before she even sent the message. I didn't see nobody call her and say, Gertie, that what happened last night was fucked up. And I'm sorry. Even again, sometimes people don't always know how to act in the moment, right? So even if the ladies went home and thought about it, it was like, damn, I really should have had Gertie's back last night. That was fucked up. I didn't see nobody call her and say, girl, I should have had your back. I didn't handle that well. Nobody. Not a one. Nobody cared the same way Robin did Wendy. Exactly. I agree, Sierra. I agree. Now, earlier in the day, Adriana had a conversation with Julia. And here's another reason why I can't fuck with you, Julia. Because you had a conversation with Adriana and asked Adriana why she didn't have your back at the party. Why did you go back into the party? Why didn't you leave when I left? Why did you go back in there? And Adriana was like, girl, I was trying to get the other side of the story. And again, as drunk as Adriana ass was, I loved how Adriana threw that shit back in Julia's face. Did you hear her? Did you hear what she said? She said, well, isn't that the same thing you did to me at the reunion? When they were all coming at me and I needed you to have my back, what did you say to me? I need to hear both sides of the story. And Julia's explanation is, well, y'all have been friends longer and there's more history there. So I needed to know what was happening. I need to understand what was happening. I needed to hear the other side of the story. Adriana said, well, that's all I wanted to hear. She said, because I wasn't there that night. I wasn't there the night you threw that water on her. I needed to hear the other side of the story. I said, I know that's right, Adriana. Baby, when I tell you this episode was giving me what I needed, that one scene, because the rest of the episode was trash. But this moment right here on the boat, baby, I was here for all of this. Adriana said, well, isn't that what you did to me? Damn, that damn fly. Ain't that what you did to me? When we was at the reunion last year and I needed you to have my back, you told me I need to hear both sides of the story. That's all I was doing. I went back in to talk to Gertie. I needed to hear both sides of the story. Baby, I was so here for that. I said, I know that's right, Adriana. You drunk, but you ain't that damn drunk, girl. So later on that night, when Gertie and Julia is arguing, baby, Adriana was at the bar trying to get that bottle of champagne open. She was like, I need somebody to open this bottle. Hey, is this somebody? This bottle, I need it open. Can somebody open this bottle for me? Somebody, right here, please. Gertie and Julia over there arguing. Adriana say, I need this bottle. Baby, I was here for it. Do you hear what I'm telling you? I was so here for it. Adriana was unbothered. We're gonna get to that in a minute. We're gonna get to the Watch What Happens, because that's why I stayed to watch a little bit of Watch What Happens Live. When I saw that Julia was on Watch What Happens Live tonight, I stayed, even though it ain't gonna take me long because that was some bullshit. Baby, Isaac Mizrahi was cracking me up. Let me tell y'all something. Sidebar. I'm gonna get back to the episodes. We almost done. Sidebar. If y'all want a good chuckle, go follow Isaac Mizrahi on TikTok. He is so neurotic but funny all at the same time. Let me tell you, go to his TikTok and find videos of him packing. When it's time for him to pack, when it's time for him to get ready to go on a trip, he is so fucking hilarious. Walking through his apartment, he's got that little prance walk, and he's packing. Now, mind you, Isaac Mizrahi wears all black. Like Lisa Ray wears all white. Baby, he wears black all the time. So I'd be like, what are you contemplating? What are you contemplating? I didn't think he was trash. I thought he was absolutely hilarious. I did not think he was trash. I thought he was absolutely hilarious. Anyway, dang. Well, what did you like about what Isaac? The only thing I didn't like that he did was when he didn't call Gertie by her name. He said that woman. Now that I did not like, but I feel like maybe he just forgot her name. I don't get the impression that he watches the show regularly, and I feel like he probably got the cliff notes. I feel like he got the cliff notes of the show, and he only watched this last episode. I really don't feel like he watches the show, because he wasn't speaking like he knew everything outside of this episode. Okay, Sierra, but did you hear what he said though? Did you hear? Okay, I understand what you're saying. He did say he loved the fact that they threw the drink in, and that's when he said that woman's face. But did you hear his explanation? He wasn't saying it like he loved the fact that Gertie. He was saying, because if that hadn't happened, what else would we be talking about this season? So maybe he does watch the show. I'm gonna take back what I said, because he was like, if that hadn't happened, what else will we be talking about right now? That, I think, is what he was saying. They're dragging him on Twitter real bad. Well, I'm sure they are, because like I said, I didn't like the fact that he called Gertie that woman. Now, I did not like that. But I find Isaac Mizrahi to be funny. I didn't take it that way when I heard his explanation. When he said he liked the fact that the drink was thrown in her face, he wasn't saying it from the same standpoint that we're looking at it on the show. Like, that was fucked up that them women threw that drink, and that she, like, from that, he was just like, I love the drama. Like, I feel like if it had been the episode where Teresa flipped the table, he'd have been like, I love that. I feel like if it had been, you know what I mean? I just think he likes the drama of it. I don't think he meant it in that way. Like, we're taking it personal because we feel the way we feel about the Gertie situation, and Gertie's black, well, Haitian. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of where it's coming from, but I can't speak for other people. And if you thought it was trash, baby, roll with it. You figured that. I honestly forgot he had said it. So I understand now what you're saying. I really forgot the man has said that, child. I still think he's funny though. But drag him, shit. Let him be dragged. Listen. Everybody has the right to feel the way they feel, child. Drag him. Let him be draggeth. Why my banner ain't been? How long has my banner not been here? Okay. So the next day, the ladies are getting up. They're getting themselves together. They're having their breakfast and stuff. He was invested in the drama. Right. Yeah, I think he just liked the fact that there was drama. I mean, I think it could have been anybody. I don't think it was specific to Gertie, but because he loved Kiki. Baby, you listen, he loved him some Kiki, okay? He said he thinks Kiki is the most, like, he loved Kiki. So I don't, I think it's so top of mind for me because I just was on Twitter and they going off. No, it's okay. Listen, and it's okay because, again, I really forgot he had said that. So I'm glad you refreshed my memory. Now I do understand. I understand why people feel it just didn't hit. It didn't hit me that way once he explained it. Now, when he first said it, I was like, but then once he explained it, I was like, oh, he just wants the drama. So the ladies are up on the boat. Alexia, Marisol, and Larsa. Baby, I'm so sick of Alexia ass. Alexia is jealous. Okay? Alexia is a jealous spirit. Alexia thinks she's queen bee on the show, and she thinks that she runs things on the show, and everybody is supposed to bow down to her and kiss the ring. And Stephanie ain't doing it. That's why I really wish I liked Stephanie more. Stephanie ain't doing it. Much like Dr. Nicole, like somebody brought up earlier, much like Dr. Nicole ain't doing it. Okay? Or didn't do it. Stephanie was like, hey, what she call her? She must call her pit bull or chihuahua, whatever the hell she called her. And Alexia immediately gets upset. I'm like, girl, she's clearly joking with you. She is clearly joking. Even Larsa was like, girl, she playing. Like, didn't y'all have a whole argument yesterday about whose bark is bigger? Like, girl, she playing with you. Larsa was like, it is too early in the morning to be this mad. Like, and I was with, y'all know I don't be agreeing with Larsa on nothing. But I was with Larsa on this one. Oh, damn, y'all let me skip Dr. Nicole. Let me go back to Dr. Nicole. I'm going to finish this thought and I'm going to go back to Dr. Nicole. But I was here for her with this one, okay? I was like, girl, you doing too much. You taking this too seriously. It's not that deep. Like, the woman was joking with you. Y'all had an argument yesterday about chihuahuas and barking and pit bulls and lions and shit. And she was like, hey, girl, are you barking this morning? Or whatever she said to her. It really was a joke. And Alexia was like, oh my gosh, tell her to go back to her perfect husband and her perfect life. I mean, what? I said, ding, 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 ding. There it is right there. The minute she said that, I said, there it is right there. Go back to her perfect life and her perfect husband. I said, ding, 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 ding. There it is. Your slip is showing, bitch. That's what you thought you was getting from Todd. And Todd hit you with the okie doke. He hit you with the bait and switch. That's what you thought you was getting from Todd. I'm going to start calling Alexia Portia, honey. Because that's what you thought you was getting with Todd. And Todd hit you with the boom, boom, bam. And you ain't getting none of that. Now, let me go back. I totally forgot about my girl, Dr. Nicole. Dr. Nicole is in the house, honey. And I loved every minute of it. First of all, Dr. Nicole rolled in there with that $96,000 Birkin. The color of that Birkin was absolutely gorgeous. That ostrich, that turquoise green, like sea foam green. Like, I don't even know what the description is, but the color was gorgeous. And she had them shoes to match. Bitch, what? We found out that Dr. Nicole really had a rough year. She had a very rough year. Her father died. Right after her father died, she gave birth. Her daughter was a preemie. The daughter was in the hospital. She's been dealing with postpartum depression, and it was just a lot on her. And I do think her not coming back to the show was probably the best decision that she made. I do not think it would have been well for her mental health. And those women would not have given her a pass. They would have. Alexia definitely would not have given her a pass, and they absolutely would have tried their best to break her. They would have made a bigger deal out of this whole Stephanie. I love that Gertie called Stephanie on FaceTime so they could meet, and it was a cute little, hey girl, hey, oh my gosh, you're blonde, oh my gosh, you're a redhead. And Stephanie was trying to throw digs, and Nicole was like, boop, boop. When she was like, oh my gosh, look at your blonde. I tried to go blonde, but there was just so much maintenance. And doesn't it do a lot of damage? I was like, girl, first of all, that's your way of low-key letting us know that Nicole ain't a natural blonde. Girl, we already know. Second of all, why you couldn't just be like, hey girl, hey. Why did it have to be like oh my gosh, I was gonna do blonde. So Nicole hit her with I was gonna do red, but isn't that hard to maintain? Baby, she didn't know what to do with that. When Nicole threw it back at her, she didn't know what to do with that. She was like, oh. And then at the end, she had to throw a dig. I mean, we both have private planes. I mean, mine's is bigger. Girl, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere, go sit your ass down somewhere. But mine is bigger. Girl, bye. Anyway. But I did love how Gertie did that. But I feel like had Nicole come back on the show, even as a friend of, even if it had been a friend of the show, I just think they would have just gone out of their way to make her life miserable. And with everything she had going on, still mourning the death of her dad, processing, dealing with a newborn, a preemie newborn at that, and dealing with postpartum. I mean, I just feel like she did the best. She made the best decision for herself. She absolutely made the best decision for herself. But I loved seeing her. And Gertie said, "Girl, what do we got to do to bring you back on the show?" Now she did say to be determined, but I think it would take a lot. I would love to see them be able to let her come back as a friend of. Let her do what Marisol does. Marisol shows up, has her little cockies, and goes home. Now Marisol is there like she's full time, but I guess the fact that she's a friend of, she reserves the right to not be there. She don't want to be there. But she usually shows up. I mean, Marisol shows up most of the time. Like we see Marisol. Like I forgot that Marisol was only a friend of the show. Like because she's there all the damn time. Dr. Nicole with pop-ups throughout the season wouldn't hurt. Just no group scenes. I think she could probably do one or two. I just don't want her to be obligated to be there all the time. You know what I mean? Let her be like Kathy Hill. Yeah, make her a friend of. Like I'm here for that. Like I said, as a friend of, she can opt out of when she want to be bothered and when she doesn't want to be bothered. She also has a product that she can sell. She started she didn't start. She's a co-founder of a skincare line. I saw her on The View advertising it, talking about it on The View. So, I mean, she has a product that she started a business, you know what I'm saying? So she's got stuff going on. Now let's get into this. Watch What Happens Live. We've already talked a little bit about with Isaac Mizrahi and all that kind of stuff. But let me talk about Miss Julia. Julia, listen. Andy asked you 2 to 3 times. 2 for certain, maybe 3. But I know for a fact it was 2 times. I think it was 3, but I know for certain 2. How did it start? Where did this start? Julia can't even tell you because it ain't start nowhere. Andy said, well, it seems like the Zoom call was just not a big deal. Yeah, I mean, that was just miscommunication. Girl, but you act like it was the end of the world in the first 2 episodes. Now, all of a sudden, everything is about the cruise. Everything is about the cruise. It all goes back to the cruise. It's the cruise, the cruise, the cruise. But which brings me back to, now it makes more sense to me because I'm going to be honest with y'all. Last week, I didn't understand why Gertie showed the text messages from the cruise. I was like, wouldn't you want to show the text messages from the Zoom call? Because to me, it seemed like the Zoom call was a bigger issue. But now I understand why Gertie is focused on the cruise, because clearly that's what Julia has been telling everybody. See, that's the stuff that's being cut out that we're not seeing. That's the shit that's being edited, that Julia has made this whole cruise situation a big deal, right? And what I found out tonight was you are still trying to make it seem like what Gertie did to you started at that cruise and that it was so egregious. Even after Gertie done showed these text messages, even after Jen Fessler then came down here and told us, no, Gertie didn't do nothing wrong. Jen Fessler has confirmed what happened. Gertie's text messages confirmed. So you are still holding on to this shit. And when Andy asked you, well, where did it start? He didn't ask, like I said, he asked you 2 to 3 times. And you were like, first you said, I don't even remember. It was so long ago. Girl, it happened a year ago. It was not that long ago, especially since it's your main storyline. Girl, that and the kids, that is your only storyline. How do you not remember? Like, we're not talking about something that happened 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Girl, it happened a year ago. And it is literally your storyline. You have been rehashing it for the last 8 weeks. We are on episode 8. You have been rehashing it for 8 weeks. Then the second time Andy asked you, you said, oh, I just don't want to get into it. So is it that you don't remember or you don't want to talk about it? Because that's 2 different answers and they mean 2 different things. But let me tell you what you did. What you just did. You just fucked up. And I'm going to tell you why. Did you not forget that you were talking to the person that does the reunion? You were evasive. You wouldn't answer his questions. You don't think he gonna give it to you at the reunion? Because Andy wants to know. He said it tonight. He was like, I really need to know where this started. Like, I really need to know how we got here. Girl, you wouldn't answer Andy's questions. Andy was like, okay. And then did you hear when they were talking about the drink throwing? When Isaac Mizrahi was saying how he likes it with the drama, blah, blah, blah. Andy was like, yeah, I just don't like that. He said, I don't like that on any show, in any scenario. I don't like the drink throwing. Baby, Andy gonna give you the blues on this. Andy is gonna give you the blues at this reunion. Gertie says she has more receipts. I know Gertie has more receipts. You know why I know Gertie has more receipts? Because Julia's on that bullshit. Julia is on the bullshit. So absolutely she has more receipts. Either Gertie gonna give it to Andy or Gertie gonna have props. I feel like Gertie gonna have props, child. Gertie gonna probably come in there like Wendy with the shit blown up on poster boards. I said, oh, you done. It's kind of like old boy on Menace to Society. You know you fucked up, right? You know you just fucked up. I'm sitting here watching Andy, and Andy was like, because again, Andy asked you like I said, I can think off the top of my head 2 specific times that he just straight up asked you, so what happened? What happened? Girl, and that's how I know it was all bullshit, because you couldn't even come up with nothing. The fact that you knew you were going on Watch What Happens Live, the fact that you knew he was going to ask you and you still didn't have an answer tells me because it's bullshit. Anyway, child, y'all, that is what it was. That's the situation. So let me say this. I'm about to get up off of here. Tomorrow, again, I don't want to keep making promises because, I hate to keep saying what I'm going to do, and it doesn't get done. But I'm stuck in the house tomorrow, at least for the first half of the day, because the water people are coming. They have to replace my meter, and somebody has to be home, and that somebody is going to be me. So my appointment is between 10 and 2. So I'm going to be home at least. I mean, if they come at 10:30, but I'm going to be home in the morning. What I'm going to try to do tomorrow is I only want to lock myself into a show. I'm going to just say I'm going to try to do a show in the morning. When I get up, I'm going to try to do a review. I know I owe you guys a few reviews. It will either be Next Gen NYC or it will be Big Brother. And I'm going to just go ahead. I was going to do an upload of an upload of Big Brother. But then I was like, well, it's an episode tonight. I'm going to just wait and I have 3 episodes now. So I'm going to just do all 3. We'll do it as a live. So it'll either be Big Brother or it'll be Next Gen NYC. And that's it. I ain't even going to speak on nothing else because Lord knows I ain't going to speak on nothing else. And Project Runway starts tomorrow. Here's the thing with Project Runway, y'all. And I might need to just put a poll up and ask. I like Project Runway. I'm going to watch Project Runway. I don't know if I want to review Project Runway because, like I told you guys, I don't usually get good numbers on Project Runway. And Project Runway is a lot of work because it's kind of like when we do RuPaul's Drag Race. You want to see the looks, like you want to see the runway. So especially in the beginning, we're talking about 15 to 18 looks in the first episode. And that's just a lot for me to take the pictures, upload the pictures, and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to have to put a poll up and see if that's something y'all are interested in. Because if y'all ain't interested in it, it's cool, But anyway, so there's that, you guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Good night. Peace. Yeah, Michelle say, child, if they don't, just watch it for yourself. I know that's right. If something crazy happens, maybe we'll come down here and talk about it. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to put that. It's just a lot. I used to describe it. I used to just like talk about the outfits and describe them. But I don't think that does justice either. So, all right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.